Welcome to part 3 of modifying an F-86 Sabre. Been away for a while. I've been getting a few things taken care of. Finally had a vacation and was able to get a lot of work done around the house. Had to get rid of all my mom's clothes. She passed away last year. So I donated all her clothes to the city mission. And like I said, I got some flying done too. I still got this Hawk. I already cracked it up and ripped the nose off, put it back together, and it's still flying, still works. And the Deuce is Wild is working good. I kind of landed hard and put the landing gears through the wings. So that's been repaired and it's back up and running too. But in the meantime, I've been trying to work on this speed brake, trying to figure out how to get it to work. So I finally came up with an idea. And let me show you what the results are. Using my Turnigy servo tester here, I'm going to hook this up. Here we are. Nice, isn't it? Can you see that? It wasn't hard to do it. Let me turn it around so you can see. I was trying to figure out a way how to get the servo behind the speed brake, but that seemed a little complex. So I went with my original idea, and that cavern that I cut out up front to mount the servo for the elevator. I also cut out a spot on the tray for a mini servo which controls the speed brake. See? That works pretty good. It's got a little droop to it. Not much, but it's a little bit. And it works pretty good. Let's see. Open it up so you can see it. Now this is what I did. Pull that out. What I did, I took the fuselage half and I made a template. From the template, I cut it out on some soft balsa. I wet the balsa. Now, anybody out there who builds knows that when you wet balsa, you can shape it just about any way you want it, because it had to have a curvature in it to match the curve of the fuselage. So I wet the balsa. Once I cut out the speed brake out of soft balsa, I wet it and I taped it to the fuselage and let it sit and dry for a couple of days, and just like so. And that's how I came up with the speed brake. Then I took some supports and put some supports in the center. Then I had to cut this section out, the simulated speed brake. I had to cut that out to make room for the real speed brake. And as you can see here, you got these 3 supports to make sure I keep that curvature. Made a big hinge using a bushing and a metal pin running through the middle. And kind of like a big control horn here. And I used some push rods that I bought. I was trying to figure out what I could use to control them. Here we go. I bought some push rods, thinnest I could find, but strong. And as you can see here, there's that control cable that controls the elevator. And as you can see, I got a push rod running straight across just like that, hooked to the horn and hooked to the servo on this end. And as you can see, I got it bonded right in the center there. And I'm going to put a little carbon fiber on there to reinforce that. But it seems to work pretty good. Now what I'm going to do to enforce it, I'm going to put a little, I'm trying to keep the weight toward the front. One reason why I didn't want to put the servo back in here is because that means I would have to add more weight in the front to balance it out. So I try to keep the weight, all the servos and anything that had weight, as far forward as possible. So right now the servos are above the wings. And they have a control rod running back that controls the speed brake. And so to strengthen the speed brake, I'm going to put a little carbon fiber on the back of it, because that's light and it works nicely. And the carbon fiber I'm using, you can easily cut it to the shape you need it, and it'll stay that way. You don't have to do any sanding or trimming, which works out real nice. But on the front half here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover this with fabric because I want to keep it light and simple. Using fiberglass or epoxy might add a little weight to it, but some iron-on fabric will work nicely just to cover it, and then a little epoxy on the back to give it some strength. Because this is all going to be repainted anyway, so it doesn't matter if I have fabric on here. It'll all be repainted. But once again, like I said, it works pretty good. I'll plug it up for you again. Let you see. Closes pretty good. I got some spacers behind here. That way when it closes up, it seals it pretty good. And it works nicely. Nice tight seal. That works pretty good. So far the bugs are worked out of it. Now all I have to do is duplicate it to the other side. And the speed brakes will be done. Then we can put the tail halves together. And I still have to sand down those elevators. I ran out of 40 grit sandpaper and I couldn't find any for a while, so now I have some. Got plenty. I can sand down those elevators, get them nice and smooth and looking good. And we can put all this together. Hopefully by fall I have this the way I want it, and it'll all be done and I can have it the way I want it. But I want to get it done before fall. Next month I want to start painting because I'm going to set up a nice little paint shot booth out in the backyard so you can see how I paint this. Well, that's it for now. Stay tuned for part 4 of modifying the F-86 Sabre. Oh, I almost forgot. I've been doing something a little whacked. I've been spelling Sabre S-A-B-E-R. I don't want you to think I'm dumb or something, so I'm going to start correcting it and spell it the right way. S-A-B-R-E. I don't want you guys to think the worst of me. So I'm going to start spelling that correctly from now on. And I've been looking a little deeper into the book too and seeing a few things, some other changes I'm going to make. But I already got a nice paint scheme planned for this, and that's why I want to get it painted next month. I got my Turnigy 9X radio programmed. That's a nice radio. I've been working with it, and it's a nice radio. So I finally got that set up because I'm going to put it in here, and it's going to be able to handle everything. Well, that's it for now. Stay tuned for part 4 when we can get these fuselage halves together. In the meantime, enjoy the weather. Good flying to you.